Here's a New Year's resolution you can live with. Listen to more Payne Nation with Charles Payne. Okay. Here is Charles Payne.
The State Department, which again reviews this process, made clear that setting an arbitrary deadline through this purely political effort would put the State Department in a corner, would severely hamper their ability to review an alternate route and a new pipeline route in the proper way, a way that has long been established by precedent and that would take into consideration all the criteria that are so important in decisions like this. Economic impact, national security impact, environmental impact, the effect on the water that our children breathe and the water our children drink and the air that they breathe.
That was White House Press Secretary Jay Carney, and you know what? You almost want to say this whole thing sounds like Keystone Cops, but it's no laughing matter. We know that the administration has now rejected the Keystone Pipeline, and Jay Carney trying his best to justify it at the same time hitting all the hot buttons, the water our kids are drinking and the air that they breathe and the same sort of stuff. And it just really boggles the mind. We're talking about a project that's been vetted for 3 years, a project that has bipartisan support, and a project that creates 20,000 immediate jobs and 500,000 jobs down the road. And for me, it's unconscionable that this decision came down today. It makes you wonder just exactly what could Republicans be thinking? What could they be thinking right now if the Keystone Pipeline project couldn't get approved? Well, anything that has anything to do with pro-business, anything that makes common sense, can anything get approved this year? We have someone here who's fantastic to help us share her perspective on this, Congresswoman Renee Ellmers. Congresswoman, welcome to the show.
Good to be with you, Charles. And, you just hit all the main points. You just hit it right on the head. This is even hard for me to believe. This is immediate 20,000 jobs that can be created. This is the same president who has been coming out over the break, basically, and coming forward and talking about how in Congress we haven't done anything. This is 20,000 immediate jobs. This is a time-sensitive issue because as he has come out today and said that he's giving his no to this project, Canada's negotiating with China to refine that oil. Now, this is not only jobs we're talking about, but this is a pathway to some energy independence for North America, and we are turning our back on it. This is the most anti-job president I have ever seen. This is the president once again putting politics before prosperity.
Congresswoman, it's since the Obama economic record from Inauguration Day, we've got about 1.7 million more people unemployed. Gas prices are up about 85%. The federal debt has gone from $10 to $16 trillion. The misery index is up 70%. Food stamp participation from 32 to almost 50 million people. And the list goes on and on and on. And yet, in your press release, you make the point that once more the president has capitulated to his liberal base and played politics with American jobs. It's almost beyond the pale that would be the case still.
And there again, once again, our president says one thing and then does another. And actions matter. And this is exactly what we've seen over and over and over again. This is a president who is supported by the labor unions. The labor unions want this. The labor unions understand that this equals jobs. This is, again, 20,000 jobs, as you have pointed out, immediate gain, plus up to, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce estimates it could be another 250 to 500,000 jobs.
Right, and to your point, the labor unions they said 500,000 jobs. The labor unions, that's their math.
And we are sitting back and watching our president, who has basically said, "I am going to do what my liberal base wacko environmentalists want me to do." To discuss this, Jay Carney, good effort there. But you know what? This is a 3-year process that has gone forward into looking into the effects on the environment, the economy. I want the president to come forward and tell the American people why jobs are bad for America. I want him to come forward and tell America why moving towards energy independence is a bad move for America.
Now, also, we did hear today from Speaker Speaker of the House, John Boehner, on the Keystone Pipeline. I want to play quickly just some of his comments for you.
President Obama is destroying tens of thousands of American jobs and shipping American energy security to the Chinese. There's really just no other way to put it. The president is selling out American jobs for politics. The president was given the authority to block this project only and only if he believes it's not in the national interest of the United States. Is it not in the national interest to create tens of thousands of jobs here in America with private investment? Is it not in the national interest to get energy resources from an ally like Canada as opposed to some countries in the Middle East? The president has said he'll do anything that he can to create jobs. Today, that promise was broken.
Now, Congresswoman Ellmers, here's what I'm thinking. The president, everyone agrees, and I'm still a little baffled how it happened, but everyone agrees that when it came to the payroll tax extension showdown, that somehow the president won, even though he was offering 2 months versus Republicans offering a year.
Right.
And that maybe he's just giddy. Maybe he's just drunk with the notion that he's got you guys over a barrel right now.
Well, there again, playing politics. This is politics. He keeps putting Americans at risk just because he's looking down the road at the 2012 election. We cannot continue to do this. The American people need jobs created, and we understand this, and that's what we keep working on. It's just like the many bills that we've passed in the House that we've sent on to the Senate. Let's get started. Let's let the president talk to Harry Reid and say, hey, bring those up for a vote. If we're going to create jobs, let's get working at it. Part of the issue is what the Speaker said in his statement, which is this is private sector. This isn't government stimulus money. This isn't taxpayer dollars that we're spending to get this pipeline moving forward. This is private sector jobs being created, the real jobs that sustain our economy. And yet our president is standing in the way. But yet he'll defend $535 million to Solyndra, which has now gone under.
Right.
So you see the man's thinking. This is who this president is, and it is time for us to make that change because we just simply cannot continue on this path.
Speaking of filling your oats, if you will, last week when the president actually said he's going to ask Congress for more power, first of all, I was a little surprised that he officially made the request since he's been usurping the power of Congress from day one. But what do you make of this? Like, hey, guys, I want even more power.
Yeah, and that is exactly what he is doing. He's coming forward and he's saying, okay, you know what, let's play with a conservative Republican idea of cutting the size of government. That's not cutting the size of government. What he has in front of us is smoke and mirrors. What he is trying to say to us is, let's consolidate, these agencies. No, what he wants, again, is to increase the amount of power that he has and move forward that way. Like you said, during we were in pro forma session, and he came forward and appointed the three NLRB
right.
And
Richard Cordray.
Exactly, Richard Cordray from Consumer Financial Protection Agency, which we're pretty sure it's not even constitutional. These are the efforts that he does. It's all through agency, it's all through regulation, all to bypass Congress, and yet he wants to come forward to us and say, hey, this is a great idea, why don't you get on board?
I guess, though, and I guess this is their line of thinking at the White House, and this is what I've said to people for the last several months. It feels like the president might be playing political chess, but at the same time he's playing economic checkers. We're going to pay a heavy price for these elementary moves that make us less competitive, but he might ultimately win that prize that he wants more than anything else, and that's the White House. But it would be something of a Pyrrhic victory. I mean, we all would suffer.
Absolutely. The American people are the ones who suffer in this situation. We can keep, and that is exactly what it is. It's a political chess game. Next week he's going to be coming out with the State of the Union speech, which I am going to sit there and listen to every word because I'm very anxious to find out about his plan moving forward. But the fact of the American people are losing. The American people lose every day that we remain in this economic situation, and we keep fighting every day in the House, and we will continue continue to fight to get those jobs created in the private sector, to move forward, to continue to cut that spending, because we just simply cannot pass on to our children and our grandchildren the situation that we have today.
What do you make of the situation with Mitt Romney and saying, listen, his effective tax rate is 15%? By the way, for the record, everyone should know Mitt Romney and every American has the same tax rate. If he had regular income from going to a 9-to-5 job, he would pay what everyone else pays. He's made some investments, and that's what everyone pays, including retirees on their investment. But do you think, speaking of the State of the Union, this will be the gauntlet? He's going to throw it down and say, this is a war. The rich have taken everything from us. You've got to get behind me with torches and pitchforks and give me another shot at this thing.
Well, I think basically what we have here is he certainly cannot run on his policies because they've been all failures. He cannot run on the economy because this is the worst economy we've seen. This is the Obama economy. So basically what he has to do is he has to continue to divide our country. He has to continue to pit those who have made it up that ladder of success, who have learned and have made something of themselves, against those who are of the less income. We're going to continue to see this fight throughout the year, and I've told people, be careful. And just know that it's going to get ugly, because as long as he continues to try to divide us, we are going to be in this fight, and he probably will come forward. They're not going to give up on the idea of raising taxes on our business owners. They're going to continue on that path in every way possible because they see that as a key to winning 2012.
I got to tell you, it really, really is heartbreaking. I think of someone who lives in that Keystone Pipeline area, who's a skilled welder, who probably doesn't have a job, but his skill set means that he can make $85,000 a year if they would just greenlight this thing. But he's got to go home today and tell his family it's not going to happen. It's a heartbreaking situation. I really appreciate your time, Congresswoman, and you have always been fantastic, Congresswoman Renee Ellmers. I hope you come back to Payne Nation, and I want to just say thanks a lot for fighting the good fight for all of us.
Well, thank you, Charles, and you are doing a great job because you nail it every time.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. When Payne Nation comes back, listen, guys, if you're missing this rally, it's not my fault. I'm going to try to help you make some money. Don't listen to the naysayers. By the way, the market is still undervalued. At least a lot of individual names are. When we come back, we're going to talk about it. Payne Nation.